you know, that up to this minute is what amazed me in New York. Then I, when we, after we were given the necessary orientation in New York, we were given some clothes which were very helpful because we had our summer clothes. You know, here we wear light clothes. Although we had been told to wear warm clothes, we took cardigans. We thought cardigans were warm enough, and we were landing there now in the beginning of winter. So there were many philanthropist organizations which were organized through the Kennedy family, which had donated a lot of clothes. So we were given jackets and warm skirts and things like that. So that was my first time to wear mutumba. Now, because here you would go and buy your own cloth and cut and make it. So then from there, we went from New York to Oregon by Greyhound for 3 days. It was the longest journey I had ever embarked on, and it was both exciting, but towards the end we got tired, so we were not able to absorb all the different sceneries. I wish I could take that journey again and break it halfway. Like one day I go, then the next day, because it was an amazing journey. Just my friend and I. It would have been very lonely if I was alone. Then we landed in this college. It was a convent college. And when we went there, the school was not open. And so we were given the work, because we were told, you come here and work. My idea was, since I was a teacher, and I was coming from here, and I was a headmistress, I thought I was going to be given work in, say, in a library. So I was looking for an opportunity of learning librarianship. I thought I had a choice. Then I am told, go and do some cleaning. I was now, or as a teacher and everything, that was not for me. So it gave us a lot of cultural shock. So we cleaned, and then when you clean, a Catholic cleaning is not cleaning. You clean a window and they say it's not clean. So, you know, they are very, very meticulous. So we cleaned, and then another time we were given jobs in the field to go and pick broccoli. And we were given 2 lines, and each person would cut, and put the broccoli in the moving truck. We thought we were good, you know, because we had worked in the fields before. But the truck would leave us, and the Americans would follow, and they were moving together. So they would actually cut some of our lines to help us catch up with. And by the end of the day, we were very stiff. You know, there were those inductions, but my experience in the States was immense, because when I ultimately was inducted into how the Americans work, I increased my speed and my attitude, so I ended up doing everything. So in the States, I did work in nursing home, in baby homes, in the college canteens, and in the homes, cleaning up, in order to supplement my income for my books and my upkeep. And I was also actually meeting some money to my father, because by the time I left here, it was towards the end of emergency, and my father had lost his business. So I actually educated my siblings, the 4 of them, from my summer and part-time earnings. So I didn't have any luxury there. I wore the same clothes, and if you want to know how interesting it was, when I'm about to graduate, I had bought some nice clothes, and so I started dressing well, And one colleague came, a man, and he was very angry with me. He said, "So you are this beautiful and you have been wearing such bad clothes." I said, "What were you looking for?" I told him that you are looking for good clothes on me. So that ended up that way. But going back to the initiative of their lift, I must say, those men, Tom Boyer was an amazing man. I see him in retrospect. I see him after having now experienced the effects of tribalism. I see his sincerity in working for one Kenya. This is what I see. And I almost share a guilt of the fact that he died unnecessarily, having done so much. Because I remember, like when now we are about to go, he invited us for a farewell party, a dance, because he was also fundraising here and creating more awareness about the scholarship. So when we went for a dance in Solidarity Building, he talked to us students, and he said something which made me adjust to that hectic life in America. Because America is not for the soft-hearted or the lazy. This is why you see people going there and coming back complaining. You got to work hard. It's work, 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 work. So he told us, when you go to the States, you must realize that the life of a student is a very difficult life. It's a very difficult life because even the Americans, from whatever background, they work towards their living. They either borrow money from their parents, or if they're not borrowing money from their parents, they work elsewhere, which I now witnessed. And if they're not doing that, they live with other families. And when you go to live with other families, do not assume that you will necessarily live with them. Don't assume. In all likelihood, they'll give you a room and you'll be expected to take care of yourself. So whenever I was invited because for 1 year I lived with a family, when I was invited, I was prepared for them to give me what they were able to give. But luckily I had a very hospitable family, where now I integrated into their whole family life, because I was looking after their small children when they were going to college. But the mother was going to college and the father was a professor at the college. So I was left with the children in the evening. And I used to eat with them at the same table. But Boyer had warned us, don't be surprised if you're owning even a house and you have a room and you have to fend for yourself. So I didn't go there with an unusual expectation. And then the other thing is, when you go there, you don't go and find a rosy life there. You are going to work hard. So work and everything became natural to me. So by the time I was in my second year, I had developed such a high-geared speed of work. And at the same time, I used to work for long hours. I would work and go to college and go to library and come back, and in the summer I would do some summer sessions, and at the same time I would do full-time summer job and some other small jobs in order to get money, some to send home and some for myself. So by the time I graduated, I was